It's been a busy week for my first guest. He's celebrating tonight after Ireland beat Gibraltar in the Euro 2016 qualifier. Roy Keane had a swipe at him in his new book this week, but he's never short of opinions himself and the odd bit of controversy, though his new girlfriend says he's a teddy bear, really. Will you please welcome FAI Chief Executive John Delaney. Big teddy bear. So you're in good form this evening?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy that match?
Oh, brilliant. To win 7-0. It's a great night to come on the show, trust me. I was wondering before the game, but when you win by 7, it's fantastic.
Would you come on again on Tuesday after Germany, maybe?
No, I'd say, no. I think I'll let Roy do that one.
That game I felt sorry for him. It reminded me of when I used to play indoor soccer and I was there to make up the numbers, you know, and you'd run around enthusiastically. I never got to touch the ball and then I get tired after a little while. They were a bit like that, weren't they, in fairness?
Yeah, have you had counselling for that, you have?
What? No, but I feel if I talk it out on TV and, you know...
But we're live on television, so...
Somebody will hear my
I think
pain.
we'll let it slide tonight.
Okay. So listen, you're obviously pleased with the management team, yeah?
Yeah, Brendan, honestly. I mean, listen, it's a year ago since we got Martin and Roy on board, and it was like a bit of call it foreplay, whatever, for the first 12 months, because we hadn't any big games, and there was all the friendly matches. But we've had 2 games now with 6 points, and there's a buzz back in Irish football that hasn't been there for a long, long, long time.
And is part of that buzz, though, as well, that, like, you bring back in someone like Roy Keane, and it ignites interest again and stuff like that?
It does, but Martin would be the manager. That was the big thing. I
Yeah.
think Roy was a bonus to come. I think the public were fascinated that Roy Keane was coming back into the Irish fold, obviously given his relationship either with me or the FAI or whatever in the past. But Martin's the manager, and getting Martin was a big coup for us. And then, of course, when the team wins, we won in Georgia a couple of weeks ago, 2-1, which is a great result for us. All of a sudden, people start getting excited again, and there's a chance of getting to France in 2016 for the Euros. And I love all sports. I love hurling, Gaelic football, rugby, whatever it would be. But the one team that captures the public is the Irish soccer team. It really does.
Would you worry this week at all that the thing that captured the public imagination, like, okay, today wasn't a huge challenge for the team, but like they're facing a massive challenge on Tuesday. But the big story in Irish football for the last week has been, well, basically Roy's beard, like, but Roy, the book, all the attention on that. Is that a distraction at all?
Well, it distracted the media, which I think was a good thing, because it didn't distract the players. If you think now Robbie Keane and John O'Shea were out at a training session saying, what do you think of Chapter 5 or Chapter 4 or whatever it was? Not at all. So it was actually a good thing. I wish you'd write a book every month, because the media got absolutely captivated by the book, and the players and Martin O'Neill and everyone got on with preparing the team, and obviously tonight was a great result. Tuesday's a different task altogether, Germany. But I think, to be honest with you, I think the distraction was really for the media, not for the players. No.
Okay. Have you read the book?
No, not yet.
No?
Waiting for my free copy, autographed.
And has he
John,
not given you
love
one?
Roy.
So he hasn't dropped one around yet?
I haven't seen him much this week. He's been out plugging the book. But
how are you getting on in general? Do you see much of him?
very professionally.
Okay. See, professional could mean a lot of things. So
It's really good, but in the sense, well, Martin's the manager. I always make that point. So my primary relation was the manager. I was at Roy the other day at the IMI conference. Both Martin and Roy were speaking. I was opening the thing. You're in the car for, half an hour or so on the way in, and whatever it would be. So it's great. Yeah. It's perfect. When we win a match, it's great. Trust me.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And are you bothered at all? He had kind of a slight little kick off you in the book, I suppose, in saying that maybe you were a bit hasty in getting rid of Brian Carr in 05, wasn't it? Yeah, well, he's entitled to his opinion. I mean, that's his opinion. And it wouldn't have been the prevailing opinion at the time. I think a lot of people would have felt that Brian Carr's time was up with the Irish team, be it the media or the players or the supporters. But I agree with him one thing. He said he should have been captain of that side, and I think he's right. He should have been captain of that team, and had he captained that team, maybe we would have got to the World Cup. Okay. There was another thing that came out about the book during the week that I thought was interesting, which was Roy talking about when he was playing footsie with Celtic that time, and that he went... Did he go and see Dermot Desmond? And basically that they didn't want him enough, they weren't being welcoming enough, and there was a package on the table, but that if they had shown him a bit more love, he would have gone. Did you know about that at the time? Because he had just come on board with Ireland a short time at that stage. I
think what he said was he obviously got the offer, and he spoke with Dermot Desmond and the chief executive of Celtic, Peter Lawwell. But Martin and I would have met Roy at that time as well, and I asked Roy, listen, you can take an offer, there's no problem at all.
Okay.
But I'd like you to stay. I remember meeting him in the dressing room at the Aviva and saying, listen, it's up to yourself, it's your decision. But I said, I would like you to stay, and I wanted to make it clear that we wanted him to stay, yet he had to consider his options, and I was thrilled that he stayed, and so was Martin.
Okay. Because he talks a lot about loyalty and other people's loyalty and everything. Did it seem a bit disloyal to you that he was kind of threatening to run off so quickly?
I don't know whether he ever really seriously considered it, but he is the assistant.
He seriously considered it. Like from the extracts I read, he seriously considered it. But he said if they'd shown him a little bit more love, that they just didn't want him just enough.
Yeah,
like.
well, look at this. He's the assistant manager, and he will want to manage again sometime, won't he? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you were assistant to this role, you'd want to be doing what you're doing now. So I can understand him wanting to be manager, but I think when he took a step back and looked at it, he knows that working for Martin is something that he'll learn a lot from. And now he's got the second job, obviously, with Aston Villa, and he thought about that too. He came and met me about it, spoke to Martin about it, and I'm very happy, as is everybody, that he's assistant in both jobs. And sometime he will manage again, of course he will.
Yeah. And is he getting on well with everyone in the camp? It's all happy there in the setup and
He
everything?
wouldn't be getting on well with everybody. That wouldn't be in his nature.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's not all love and roses.
Okay.
Because that's not the nature of football. But he's a great influence around the players. I mean, the players like James McCarthy and Darren Gibson and Seamus Coleman, the younger players, want to hear what Roy Keane and Martin O'Neill would impart to them, you know. And like he's played at the highest level, both Martin and himself have. Martin won 2 European Cup medals. Roy's obviously played at Manchester United at the highest level. So they're two great characters. And if you can't learn as a footballer from either, well, you won't learn from anybody.
Yeah. Do you get on well with the players?
I do, actually, yeah. I have a good relationship with the players. I'll be very close to Robbie Keane. If there's any issues that the players want to discuss with me, I'll talk to Robbie directly. John O'Shea's from Waterford, where I grew up, or where I was born. So I would get on with the players very well. If you can help the players, you see, you want the players to come happy, Brendan. They don't work for us, they're playing for their country, they're very committed to their country. But you want to make sure that everything is sorted for them and there's nothing kind of nagging them, be it tickets or logistics or whatever it would be. So I would have a very good relationship with most of the players. And, you know,
and listen, you have a good relationship with the fans as well, possibly too good at times, would you say?
Occasionally.
Yeah. Have you learnt your lesson about that one, do you think?
Maybe.
Yeah? Because the thing is, everybody has a camera on them now, basically, all the time,
isn't
don't
it?
they?
Yeah. Well, but I love meeting supporters, I really do. So I'm a supporter at heart myself. I used to follow the team as a supporter. I've been to America, Stuttgart, Albania, Lithuania, Latvia, following the Irish team. And when I leave the job, I'll be the same, because your country is very important. I'm very nationalistic as a person. I love my country, I love the tricolour. I love today when our Ronnie Ravine is played and you face the tricolour. It's a fantastic feeling. So it's your country, it's not your club.
And so there's a body in then that you can't like go out and have a few drinks with the fans and celebrate after a match without everybody kind of being on your case.
Maybe it bothers me that I shouldn't do, but I have done. I've enjoyed it, and you know something, it hasn't curtailed me too much. I mean, I love meeting the supporters, particularly the supporters who go to away games. With 3,000 supporters go to Germany now for Tuesday's game. They spend a lot of money following their country, and to go and meet them and talk to them and buy a pint for them, I don't see any great harm in that.
Okay, so we look forward to YouTube on Wednesday. Come here, I want to talk a bit personal for a minute. You know, you kind of made a decision, didn't you, this year that you were going to find some happiness for yourself, because it's what a lot of your life is about, the job and stuff like that. Yeah. And you have found happiness with Emma English. I saw you speak very movingly about Emma at a function there recently, and you talked about how, in a way, she kind of saved you.
Yeah, it'd be a fair point. I think you can be professionally very occupied and professionally very happy. I think sometimes that kind of, when you're not personally happy, or as happy as you should be, you throw yourself into the job a lot. I was probably going down the track that I wouldn't have been happy about myself. And I met Emma, and she's been absolutely fantastic.
And what kind of track do you mean, like?
I wouldn't want to go into that too much, but I wasn't really... I wouldn't have been in the best of places, personally. And I met her. She's a friend of mine for about over a year. I asked her to go out with me last May. It took her a month to say yes.
Right. And then she said, clean up your act a bit first.
And then she was bringing me back, and I was ignoring the calls because I thought I was getting blown out. My ego was getting in the way. Yeah. Then I got this text saying, if you don't call me back, you have no chance. Right. So I'm very much in love with her. She's been a huge influence in my life, and she's a terrific person. She's a beautiful person inside, and she's really, really changed me, and I'm very pleased.
Oh, that's lovely. And actually... And Emma English is here with us now. Hi, Emma, how are you?
Hi, Brendan, how are you?
He's very romantic, isn't he, to speak like that about you in front of the whole country?
Do you know what he is? There is obviously the professional side to John that everybody would see related to soccer, but I see the personal side to him as a person, and he's great heart. He's an amazing, an incredible man in many, many ways. I'd take over the show if I was to go into it all with you now. But he's a great heart, he's a great soul. That's what I fell in love with.
And the bit I'm interested in, that he is a teddy bear.
Oh, for sure. Oh, my God. Honestly, he really is. He's so romantic, but he has that big soft centre in him as well. And he can never say no to people. Like, he's natural. It's just, it comes naturally to him to just do right by people, and just everywhere I go, actually, like, he offers. He's always giving. You know, he always wants to make people happy and do the right thing. Like, it's incredible, actually, to watch him.
Okay. You haven't a hope the next time you go and face down Roy Keane, like, because he now knows that you're just a teddy bear who wants to say yes.
He's a bit of a teddy bear himself.
Is Roy a bit of a teddy bear underneath
we
it
all
all?
go in private moments, yeah. I remember when he was coming back on board. We met in the hotel that night with Martin and I and himself, and we sorted things out. But the following morning, Martin met him at 9 o'clock in his room, and I was told to knock at the door at 10. He's knocking at the door, and Roy answers, "How are you?" "Sit down, would you like a cup of tea, John?" And he makes a cup of tea, and he pours the milk and sugar in, and so Roy's a bit of a teddy bear himself
Very
sometimes.
civilised. I'm seeing him now for some reason with full beard, but in a maid's outfit. one lump or two.
That was the threesome in London we were talking about.
Listen, on another personal note, I know that your dad had a health scare at the end of last year, was it?
Yeah, he had. Funny, we were doing a big bank deal at the time, getting a write-down from the bank, and you're bringing O'Neill and Keane on. There's lots of stuff going on. In the middle of it all, Dad, who I'm very close to, made a huge influence in my life. I wouldn't be anything that I've done in my life without my father. I've got a huge regard for him. And out of nowhere, then he's got to go for a bypass. And that really brought it home. It was the first Christmas ever as a family we weren't together. And on Christmas days inside, obviously getting his treatments or whatever it would be. And that was difficult. I must say that was difficult. And I promised him, when he's going down, I said, "I'll be there when you wake up." And when he opened his eyes, I was there. I was delighted, But he's a good man, and he's in good health now, thank God. And I think that brings it home sometimes. Football is a huge part of my life. Probably was maybe too much of my life. And Emma coming into my life has been fantastic. But also knowing your father's in good health and your father's there, because sometimes he won't be there, was something that really kind of touched me over Christmas. I said, listen, you can work all the hours in your life, but to have your father and mother alive is a great thing.
Are you a very different person now than you were a year ago? Yeah.
I think. Not quite a teddy bear, but I'm happier. I'm personally happier, which is a big thing. You see, you can throw yourself into the job, and the job's a great thing. I love football, and as I said, I love my country, I love working in football. And you end up giving yourself all the time and doing grassroots functions every weekend, but you found very little time for yourself. And, I think last Christmas when I saw my father on a table, I'm wondering, would he come out of it? Would he be alive? You've got to kind of think to yourself, hold on a second now. He mightn't be there next year. Your mum mightn't be there next year. And where's your time with them? Where are you spending time with maybe your kids? Or where are you spending time with someone who you fall in love with later in Emma? So it's important, I think, to anybody, you can throw yourself into work, but you need to find some time for yourself and be happy yourself. And certainly this time now, I've never been as personally happy in my life.
Okay. How are we going to get on Tuesday night?
Well, they got beat tonight, Germany. They got beat 2-0 by Poland, so there might be a backlash from them. But Martin and Roy will have their own plans for it. And look, it's going to be a long group, Brendan. Yeah. I really hope that we get to France in 2016.
It will be fantastic.
Oh, listen, hundreds of thousands of Irish fans.
John Delaney, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, the way Emma was saying, you're a great guy and you love sorting everyone out. And you are great for sorting people out for tickets and all that kind of thing. So there's a friendly, isn't there, coming up in the Aviva against America?
We're playing America next month on November the 18th. So I'm in good form tonight, so we'll give a ticket to everyone in the audience to come tonight.
Hey! John Delaney, ladies and gentlemen. All right, competition time for you at home now. If you fancy increasing your bank balance tonight, well, listen to this.